Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the AI empowered English classroom. And my name is Brian, and my Chinese name is Jianting En from 73A. So to begin with, let's talk about the new Taiwanese policy, the ambitions of Bilingual 2030 meets classroom reality. Taiwan has a bilingual policy around 2030, and they have a vision to improve the real-world English communication. And they want to move beyond traditional exam-focused memorization-based learning because many people find it not useful, and it didn't really help the kids to know what they really want. So instead, the challenges in the junior high school classroom, the students first, they face anxiety. They often fear of making mistakes, and peer judgments leads to silence. So they are afraid to speak up their mind because they don't want others to laugh at them. Second is varying levels. Widely different skill levels means the same teaching method doesn't work for everyone. For example, in one classroom, there are very smart, intelligent students, but some they might have a little bit of trouble when it comes to learning. So once you use the same methods for all the students, then the performance is not going to turn out very well. Third, teacher burnout. Many of the teachers, they have too much time spending on grading and planning, so it reduces the time with students. Many teachers, they have to marking the points and giving out grades for students even in their free times. So this makes the teacher less time to spend time to focus more on their students. And there's a very famous saying. It's called AI will not replace teachers, but teachers who don't know how to use AI can teach more effectively. AI efficiency, they focus more on the speed, the scale, the data, the infinite patience. Because with AI, they don't feel tired, and they're not they can have all the energy to spend time with the students. But as for the teachers, well, sometimes they get tired and they don't have the time to be with the students all the time. And the other one is we call it emotional support. For AI, encouragement and emotional support are very important, and that is how the students and the teachers build their relationship. And with both of these, then we can turn it into the future classroom. So how do we involving the English classroom? We can divide it into three different parts. First is speaking practice. In the traditional way, the students always feel very highly stressful, and they're afraid of speaking in the public, and they often limited the individual speaking time because we have so many students in one classroom, and we can't have everyone to speak up, and that is like a very bad situation. However, with AI empowered approach, well, they can be stress-free because you can just talk to your AI and they will not even judge you. Instead, they are going to give you a lot more emotional support, like we said earlier. And with private chatbot practice, you're not afraid of making mistakes, and the AI will tell you how to ah and the AI is going to 断掉了。Well, then AI has plenty of patience that can spend time with you, and you can have infinite repetition because you can always make mistakes and it will always correct you the right way. The second one is learning materials because with traditional approach, standard textbooks used by all students, like we said before, there are students who perform very well, and there are students that doesn't perform that well. Instead, they kind of do it poorly. So it's weird that every student use the same textbook. Then the students who is very good at it, they don't have anything more to learn. So instead, with AI empowered approach, they can differentiate the one that can perform well and the one that doesn't perform that well, and they can have interest-based content for students with different levels. Third is teachers focused. In the traditional approach, administrative work and grading and basic lesson planning are like very time consuming, which means that the teachers couldn't have the time to spend with their students, and they can't help each student to develop. However, with the AI, they can have one-on-one mentorship. So they can not only give them the right teaching method that they need, and they can also develop on their own pace. So each student can have the best when it comes to learning. So one of the very important things is building confidence through stress-free practice, because I think the reason why Taiwanese students are not good at English is because they care too much about other people and they're afraid of making mistakes. So once the AI is good for learning, then they can have better way to learn. AI chatbots, they can simulate daily scenarios like ordering food or navigating an airport. Because I think using a language is very important in our daily life, and I think that is what truly matters. So with AI, you can have all kind of like scenarios that you can practice on. So when you actually encounter the situation, then you know how to say the thing that you really want to say. Second is students practice infinitely without fear or peer judgment or embarrassment. I think one of the main reasons that Taiwanese students doesn't perform that well in English, especially when it comes to speaking, is because people are afraid of making mistakes and they think their accent might be making fun of someone. So they tend to be quiet and they tend to like only focus on the writing and the basic grammar and focusing more on the writing skills. The next one is speech recognition technology provides real-time checks on pronunciation and fluency. Right now, I have a class that told me to download several English tools to help me to adjust my pronunciations. And I think nowadays there are like a lot of AI based applications that can help you to adjust your pronunciation and to improve your fluency. And last but not least is students to develop the self-assurance required for genuine human connection and real-life communication, overcoming hesitation and anxiety. So I think the last part is very important as it is about building confidence, because once you gain a lot of practices, then you know how to interact with other people, and through many practices, then you are not going to be afraid, and then you are more willing to speak up. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is engaging digital learners beyond the textbook. So there are three things I think is very important, and the one thing is storytelling and visuals. So it is important to generate short stories or comic style learning materials and custom images to replace static textbook graphics, because in our traditional textbook, with all the words in it, students are like they just think, oh, it's so exhausted to read all the words that I don't understand. So with a comic style learning, students will be more willing to read, and they might think learning English is going to be fun. So they are more willing to put more effort in it. The next one is immersive role play. So I think designing a virtual travel activities and situational script customized to students' interest, I think it is very important, and I think it's one of the way to intrigue the students' interest in learning English. Through role play, people can have the basic knowledge about how to face with other people, and once they know that, the next time they actually face it in the reality, they know how to interact in this situation. The third one is global connection. Pre-translated and organized ideas so students can confidently introduce Taiwanese culture, food, and traditions during international exchange activities is very important. So when you acknowledge all the things and the skills, then you can promote Taiwan to all the other friends from across the globe. However, to me, I think there are also some drawbacks for AI learning. So I think one of the main reasons is the potential for errors. As we all know, AIs are not always correct because they just search all the data from the internet, but the data from the internet are not always 100% right. So we have to know and to develop an ability to differentiate whether the information is the right one or it is wrong. And the other one is to reduce critical thinking, because everyone, especially for students, if they rely on using AI for all their projects or their schoolworks, then they don't really think about their opinions. Instead, they only ask the AI to do all the work for them, and all they do is to change some of it into their own word. But in this way, they don't develop their critical thinking ability.